Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem El Shai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. And peace and blessings to the elect. Alright, it's gonna be a quick video, on a little topic I was meditating on for a while now. And it's basically touching on everybody, being woken up to this truth. Alright, you wake up to this truth at a certain appointed time, alright, for a reason. Okay, being it is that if you're a prophet, all right, you wake up at a certain amount of time, or a certain point of time, because your job is supposed to take that amount of time. For example, you might have somebody who might wake up a year or two before the end. Okay, before the Lord takes his prophets off the streets. But why? Because his job, all right, being woken up at that time, all right, is to wake up a certain amount of people. It might be 50 people, it might be 80 people, but his job required that amount of time. And with the portion of faith which the Lord gave him, okay, it would, calculated that, which that's all to the Most High, all right. It would take that amount of time, which is why he woke that person up at that specific time. Okay, now before I get into the scriptures, I'll give you an example. When you look at the elders, okay, they've been out there, 30 plus years. Okay, now why do you think the Lord has had them out there? Why do you think he woke them up so early, man? Because they had a great job to do, a big job to do, man. You see how many people have been woken up? Okay, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem El Shai. All right, putting the knowledge on these elders to go out there and start teaching. You see how much fruit the elders have. Now's the reason why they've been given that amount of knowledge, and they were woken up so early and have so much experience, because they had to wake up a whole lot of people through the spirit. Okay, and you had other prophets who were woken up, and they went and brought more fruit. Okay, but each prophet that got woken up had a certain lot. They had a certain job to do. Okay, they had a certain amount of people or amount of work to put in for the time they've been given. Okay, and that clock starts counting from when you wake up to this truth until the time when the Lord says, the time is up. Okay, and so through the spirit, you want to do as best as you can. All right, so I'm going to get this precept, Matthew 25, start at verse 14. It says, "For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability. And straightway took his journey." Okay, so he gave everybody a certain amount of faith, a certain amount of knowledge, a certain amount of ability to prophesy. Okay, and he gave that to the Most High gave that to each of us uniquely. Okay, it says, "Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents." Okay, and being that it is that he had to make 5 talents, through the spirit. When you think about it spiritually, man, he had to do more work, so he might have required more time. So the Lord might have woken him up earlier than somebody who had only 2 talents, okay, and had to make that into 2 other talents. Okay, so it says, verse 17, "And likewise he that had received two, he also gained the other 2." Okay, so with what the Lord gave him, with whatever amount of faith or knowledge the Lord gave him, he went and with the amount of time he was given, through the spirit, he did what he had to do. Okay, he turned and gained another 2. "But he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money." Okay, so you have those who, because you have people who've been in this for a long ass period of time, but they're not doing anything. They're not laboring. They're not bringing in fruit. They're not waking up anybody. They're not edifying. Okay, and they will be considered this guy right here who digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money, because he wasn't putting in work. He wasn't turning the talents into more talents. Okay, but his time was running down, man. That clock is ticking. So if you don't meet your deadline, you don't meet the amount of sales you got to make, so to speak, with the Lord's money, man, you know what I mean? The Lord he's going to have problems with you. And you don't want that. Okay, so it says, and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. And so he that received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. Yeah, so he's like, because hey, that was that deadline when this Lord came back. Okay, and he required, all right, and really he rewarded every man according to his works. Like the scriptures say in Revelation, the Lord is going to reward every man according to his works. All right. So with the amount of knowledge you have and the amount of faith you've been given, did you bring in as much fruit as it was ordained for you to bring? Did you bring in as much as you could have, or were you just lollygagging? Huh? Because that extra video you could have put out, or you could have pushed, that extra video could have woken up 10 other people. But you decided not to do it, even though you could. So guess what? Now you missed your deadline. You missed your point by 10 people, and now you're not gonna get what you know what I mean. The reward. You said you're gonna get harsh judgment. Okay. It says verse 20, and he that received verse 21. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. So yeah, you have those who, they might not be the top dogs, but they're doing their best. Okay? And they, you know what I mean? They're on point with their schedule, so to speak. Okay? Constantly doing their best with what they've been given. And the Lord is like, cool. All right, that's good. All right. You did what was required of you with what was given to you. All right. You work with that. Okay. It says, thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Yeah, because the scripture said, if you whatever you forsake here, you're gonna get a 100-fold. Okay. So he said, I will make you ruler over many things. Verse 24 says, Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid and went and hid thy talent. So you are making excuses. This and that. Really, because they're still attached to the world. They didn't want to let go of the world and push this truth. And do what they had to do with what they've been given. The Lord ain't hearing excuses when he comes back, man. He's been watching you since day one. You don't got no excuse. All right. The Lord ain't like man, where you can try to bullshit a story and feel, and then man be, oh yeah, I understand. No. The Lord knows your heart. He knows your heart. He knows what you could have done and what you should have done, and whether you did it or not. And trust me, he's taking note of everything, man. The Most High, Yahweh, in the name of his son, Yahweh Shai, they're taking note of everything, man, through their angels. All right. And they don't forget anything. Okay. You ain't slipping. You ain't yo, man. All right. If the Most High knows every single hair that's on your head, he most definitely is not gonna forget, if you didn't do something you were supposed to do, man. Or if you're doing what you're supposed to do, man, the Most High is gonna reward you. Okay. It says, and I was afraid and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. You were afraid and went and hid the Lord's talent. Well, you weren't afraid of the Lord enough. Because if you feared the Lord, you would have done what he told you to do. You would have made that 1 talent into 1 talent more. Okay. Verse 26 says, His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knowest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received my own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which hath 10 talents. For unto every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance, and from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. Okay? And you know what I mean? That's really what it is, man. With whatever, it doesn't matter when. Look, man, the minute you find out, you wake up and you know what you got to do, start doing it. Okay, start doing it and don't stop. You don't stop till you're stopped by the Lord, man. You don't stop till the Most High tells you to stop. Okay. So I'm gonna get another precept, Lord willing, and I'll close it out with that. What was it? Romans 12 and of Romans chapter 12 verse 3. It says, "For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as the Most High hath dealt to every man the measure of faith." Okay, yeah, because we don't all have the same measure of faith. Okay, but we're not all required to do the same. We're not. What's required of another brother might be different than what's required of you. All right, on specific terms, as in, if that brother's been given enough faith to, let's say, do 10 videos a day, that's what the Lord is expecting of him. You might have to do 5 videos a day. Well, that's what the Lord is expecting of you, because we all have different measures of faith. Okay, but you don't got no excuse, man. You still got to do your 5. So it says, verse 4, "For we have many members, for as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, so we being many are one body in Hamashiach, and everyone members of another." Yeah, because you know the brain might play a bigger role than the toe. Okay, but that means the brain is gonna need to be given more whatever it needs to accomplish what it has to do, because it's playing a bigger role. All right, a bigger task. Okay, so verse 5 says, "So we being many are one body in Hamashiach, and every one members of another, having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us. Whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith." Okay, according to the proportion of faith, man. Because hey, like it says, what was it? 1 Corinthians 3. Yeah, verse 1 Corinthians 3 and 6. It says, "I have planted, Apollos watered, but the Most High gave the increase." Okay, so the Most High gave the increase, and hey, man, he puts it in your spirit. All right, and the Most High counts and takes note of everything, man. If he's giving you a certain amount of faith to do a certain job, to wake up a certain amount of people, okay, he's gonna increase them according to his will. But you still got to do what you got to do, man. Okay, and if you're not meeting the targets which you got to meet, eventually you're gonna start falling behind. You're gonna start falling back. You're gonna be cut. All right. So let's go back to Romans 12 and let's start at go to verse 7. It says, "Or ministry, let us wait on our ministering, or he that teacheth on teaching, or he that exhorteth on exhortation, he that giveth, let him do it with simplicity." Yeah, because we all have one thing that, like our lots. Yeah, we all have our lots. Okay, but brother might be, you know what I mean, more into prophecy, you know what I mean, prophetic videos or exhortation videos or whatever it may be that you're into. You know, you do it to the best of your ability. You do it with passion, and you do it to please the Lord and to edify the elect. Okay, and I'm gonna end it with this precept here. Is going on. It says, "Let him do it with simplicity. He that ruleth with diligence. He that showeth mercy with cheerfulness." You know, so yeah, man, you gotta do what you gotta do. We've all been woken up at a certain time. Although we all gonna get that same penny, what's required of us varies based on what's been given to us. Okay, ultimately we all gotta push this truth and do our best, but at the end of the day, it's still an individual race in itself. Okay, And each man is going to be judged according to his works. Okay?